welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're joining me on the starting grid here at the Balaton Park for the first GT sprint of the 2024 Asset Cup Series. We are just ready in a few minutes to start the second sprint race of the Asset Cup of the GT race, and it will be another 25 minutes race. I am just next to the starting spot for the car number 22, which is the Lamborghini of Libor Dvořáček, prepared by Mechanic Motorsport by Bagheera. This car got a quite heavy hit during the first race, but it will be ready for the race number 2. As I can see, Libor Dvořáček going here into his grid spot. So great job by all the Mechanic Motorsport mechanics. Of course, also the team boss is here just with us. So let's follow me, please, over here. And we can see the Lamborghini is ready. Hello, Jiří, good afternoon. It was a great job by your mechanics, because I believe Libor Dvořáček got a quite heavy hit in the first race.
Yeah, we had a little accident in the first corner or second, but we could repair it because we had the parts, so we get it back and we can race again.
Absolutely. So what's the target for Libor in this race?
I think finish the race, but no, he should start well and keep going, and we see what will come.
Okay, Jiří, thank you very much, and best of luck to all of you in Mechanic Motorsport, powered by Bagheera. So this is a great story by the mechanics. So we need to clear the grid right now, just behind the Lamborghini. This is the number 77, a Lamborghini of Adam Konopka, the race winner in GT3 class today morning. So let's be also focused on this car, and I'm gonna join you again very soon. Enjoy the race. We are opening the 2023 season here in Germany. First of the 6 calendar events that are ready for us this year.
Oh, there's contact between Joachim Galláš and Libor Milotan.
There is the race leader, Filip Salaguarda.
They are now going to be side by side across the line, but Galláš is prevailing. Joachim Galláš scores another victory.
His teammate does a slight touch in the first corner.
What a move that was.
And he's third, and there's a contact. Luckily, everybody else has managed to avoid that car. This is going to be a photo finish between the two Lambos. Who's first? It must be Denis Vašek. Unbelievable. This is a big crash, massive crash.
So one more time, hello and welcome everybody. We are on Red Bull Ring, Austria, with the sky partly cloudy, but I believe we will remain dry for the rest of the day. Anyway, let's get ready for this race. It will be the second sprint race of the Asset Cup series today. In the morning it was a very good job by Denis Waszek, who won the race overall, but most importantly he won the race in the GTC class. And also very good job by the young Slovakian driver Adam Konopka, who won the race in the GT3 class behind the wheel of his number 77 Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Let's get ready to start the race action again. In the front row it's Denis Waszek starting from the pole position. Alongside him it's Hermann Speck behind the wheel of Porsche 911 GT3. Behind them it is Alexander Albel and Christian Wim Berger. And in a row 3 it's Miro Konopka behind the wheel of Ligier LMP3 and Coach McKenzie, he should be there, yes, and let's go racing again. We have the green flag here on Red Bull Ring, and it is Denis Waszek leading the race from the turn number 1. You can see many cars going off track in the turn number 1, but so far so good for everybody. No collisions, no contacts. No flying carbon fiber in the air, so that's a good news, not only for the drivers but also for the mechanics here. And another great start of the race by the Czech driver Denis Waszek, driving his Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo number 100. Here he is just ahead of Hermann Speck behind the wheel of his Porsche 911 GT3, and behind him it is one more time Coach McKenzie. So these two drivers were fighting quite hard in the first race for the class victory in the class 6A plus 6B, and we can expect them together one more time. And also look at Miro Konopka, the Slovakian gentleman driver and team boss of ARC Bratislava, driving his LMP3 prototype, his Ligier LMP3, as he is very closely behind the orange Lamborghini of that should be Alexander Albel, I believe. So let's wait for the times, let's wait for the gaps. We just finished the first lap of the race, and there is a great battle between Lamborghini and Porsche. And great job here. So I'm sorry, it was of course Christian Wim Berger behind the wheel of the orange Lamborghini who overtook the Porsche driver Hubert Dalmetko, and so did Miro Konopka, as you can see here. But Dalmetko is trying to find the inside line, but of course the LMP3 car is much better on the exit from the turn number 3. So good job for Miro Konopka this time, and fortunately for the Slovakian gentleman driver, no technical issue before the race has even started, as we saw earlier today, because before the start of the race number 1, Miro Konopka was forced to pit, and then he rejoined the race, but he was one lap down, so it was pretty unfortunate situation for the Slovakian driver. Right now Miro Konopka is in the fight, and he should be on P5 at the moment. Here are 3 Porsche Cup cars ahead of the Lamborghini of Libor Dvořáček. We were talking to the team boss Jiří Mechanek on the grid, and he confirmed that the mechanics of his team managed to prepare the car for the race number 2 after the quite heavy hit during the first race. So great job by the mechanics of the Czech team, Mechanek Motorsport, powered by Bagheera. And there is Antal Shigo behind the wheel of the grey and green BMW M4 GT3. Antal Shigo just overtook Hubert Dalmetko, and that's what Adam Konopka needs to do. And yes, good job by the Slovakian driver. He is also ahead of the Porsche driver. It's very important for Adam Konopka to stay behind Antal Shigo driving the BMW, because these two cars are fighting for the class victory in a GT3, and Adam Konopka has to stay behind Antal Shigo. This is a crucial for the GT3 class victory fight. As I said on the grid, Adam Konopka won the first sprint race in a GT3 category just ahead of Antal Shigo, so this time he wants to do the same, of course, but for that he needs to overtake Antal Shigo on a racetrack. So this can be quite tight fight between the BMW and Lamborghini in the remaining 20 minutes. One more time, we have a three Porsche Cup cars of Vlad Raducanu, Petr Brečka and Michal Oliver just ahead of Libor Dvořáček's Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. So these three cars are also fighting in a GTC class. It's P2, P3 and P4 in a GTC class right now. The leader of the GTC class is far, far ahead of the field, because it is one more time Denis Vacek leading the way with gap over 3 seconds ahead of Coach Mackenzie on the second place overall right now. But look at this fight. We will get back to it right now. We also need to be focused on this fight between Miro Konopka behind the wheel of bright yellow Ligier LMP3 prototype, as the Slovakian driver overtook Herman Speck behind the wheel of his Porsche 991 GT3R Gen 2 car. So this time, so far, it's all good for Slovakian driver. And you can listen to the great sound of the V8 inside the Ligier LMP3 prototype. It's a Nissan engine. And yes, we need to enjoy this, because from the next season, the LMP3 cars will have turbocharged V6 inside. So no more V8 engine sound. So let's enjoy this until we can. 18.5 minutes to go. Still a great pace by Denis Vacek at the front of the race, lapping 131.9 in the last lap around. And the driver behind him, Coach Mackenzie, he did 132.3, so he was slower by 0.4 of a second. And look at this battle. It is Antal Shigo versus Herman Speck for the P5 overall. And of course, Antal Shigo is the leader of the GT3 class, so he needs to be quick. But as you can see, it's quite hard to overtake another car built according to GT3 rules. But now it seems to me that Antal Shigo will be successful, and yes, he is. He took the inside line, and that, of course, was the good choice for the driver of BMW. And one more time, Adam Konopka needs to do the same thing as quick, or as soon as possible. I would rather say that, because he needs to chase down Antal Shigo if he wants to take another class victory in GT3 category this time. But so far Antal Shigo is having a very good race pace here on the Red Bull Ring at this time, so it will be quite a hard job for Slovakian driver to chase him down and try to overtake him. Maybe in the closing stages of the race, of course, the drivers also need to look after their tires to keep the pace through the whole race. Look at the battle of the two Lamborghini cars. It's Coach Mackenzie behind the wheel of Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo, and behind him it's Christian Wimberger behind the wheel of another Huracan GT3. The first car is starting in the 6A plus 6B class, and the car behind is starting in a GTX class. And actually, Christian Wimberger is the leader of a GTX class at the moment, with a decent gap, because the second car in this category is Peter Kola going on P14 behind the wheel of KTM GTX, prepared by Yannick Motorsport. So right now it's very, very good position for Christian Wimberger. And he is on his best way to win this race in a GTX class. But it will be interesting to watch the battle of the two Lamborghinis. Because, of course, the number 617, the green car, is not eligible for the GT3 class here on Red Bull Ring because of the specific setup. But right now, Wimberger goes the inside. Oh, there was nearly a touch between the two cars. And also Miro Konopka is taking the advantage of this battle. Coach McKenzie had to go very wide from the first corner, and he opened the door for the Slovakian driver behind him. So Miro Konopka also ahead of the green Lamborghini. So right now this, I believe, should be B3 overall for 62 years old legend of Slovakian motorsport. But let's wait and see. I believe it's Denis Vacek still in the lead, no question about that. And it should be Christian Wimberger on B2 and Miro Konopka on B3 in the overall standings of the race. Coach McKenzie on P4, and on P5 it's Antal Shigo. And I'm curious if he is still ahead of Hermann Speck or if Adam Konopka overtook Hermann Speck on the racetrack. We will find out very soon. So 7 laps done by the leader Denis Vacek. It's Christian Wimberger on P2, Miro Konopka on P3, Coach McKenzie on P4, Antal Shigo on a P5, and Adam Konopka on P6. So the first 2 cars of a GT3 class are behind each other. Be careful. There is a traffic ahead. It's the slower Porsche Cayman GT4 driven by Jaka Stuflek, starting in a GT4 class, currently running on P4 in that category. But fortunately it caused no troubles for the top drivers from the front of the field. We still have 13 minutes to go, and Denis Vacek has a decent gap, 5.3 seconds over Christian Wimberger. But anyway, the top 5 cars in the race are 5 category leaders. Oh, watch out, there is a slow Mercedes AMG GT4. So that was a scary moment for Miro Konopka, but nothing bad happened there, fortunately. And you can see how close is Antal Shigo behind Coach McKenzie. I just wanted to say that top 5 cars in the overall standings are our class leaders, because Denis Vacek is the GTC class leader, Christian Wimberger is GTX class leader, Miro Konopka is D5 class leader, Coach McKenzie is 6A plus 6B class leader, and Antal Shigo is a GT3 class leader. So top 5 cars are 5 class leaders at the moment. And I just wish to see how far away behind Antal Shigo is Adam Konopka. Unfortunately for the young Slovakian, it's too far. There are 4 seconds between Antal Shigo and Adam Konopka at the moment, so not the best pace by Adam Konopka at the moment. Last lap around it was 1:39.6 for Shigo and 1:39.7 for Konopka. So Shigo added another 10th of a second to the gap, and he's controlling the situation very well right now with 11 minutes to go. 9 laps completed by our race leader, and Denis Waszek wishes to add second victory of the day after winning the first sprint race early in the morning in the GTC class. And you can see how quick he can be behind the wheel of his Lamborghini Super Trofeo prepared by GT2 Motorsport. So far it's been a great Sunday for this crew and for the driver of Lamborghini number 100, Christian Wimberger, is 6.5 seconds down on a P2, but it looks like Miro Konopka is very close behind Christian Wimberger, so I would like to see that situation, of course, and also look at that. Here is Libor Dvořáček behind the wheel of Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo number 22, prepared by Michalek Motorsport, powered by Bagheera, and Libor Dvořáček is on a P13 at the moment, on a P6 in a GTC class. Just ahead of him it should be Bob Bauer, racing behind the wheel of Porsche 991 Cup car, also starting in a GTC class, so Libor Dvořáček would love to gain one position. But look at the KTM behind him, and this is the attack through the inside. It is Petr Koukola behind the wheel of the KTM of Czech team Janík Motorsport, and Petr Koukola is racing in a GTX class, so from that point of view, no danger here for Libor Dvořáček, as the car behind him is starting in a different class. And behind Petr Koukola and Libor Dvořáček, it's the older BMW M6 GT3 with Gregor Shigo behind the wheel, and that is currently P3 in the GT3 class right now. Koukola is taking the inside line. No, there was a touch! There was a touch between Dvořáček and Koukola, and I believe that was Dvořáček's mistake, because he just closed the door at the moment when there was Koukola just next to him, absolutely on the inside line. So this was pretty unfortunate situation for the Czech driver, for both Czech drivers, yes, I need to say that. But anyway, Koukola is just ahead of Dvořáček, but also Gregor Shigo was able to take the advantage from that situation. So a bit of drama around P14, P15 and P16, but watch also Miro Konopka and his effort. He is trying to find his way ahead of Christian Wimberger. He was too far away to attack at the inside into the turn number 3, but he is still close, very close to the Christian Wimberger's Lamborghini, but not in the striking distance for the moment. How it is, meanwhile, between Antal Shigo and Adam Konopka, it looks like Adam Konopka is the quicker guy right now. There were 4 seconds between Antal Shigo and Adam Konopka, and now there are only 2 seconds between them. So Adam Konopka is not giving up yet on his chances for winning this race in a GT3 class, just as he did in the morning. But now look at Miro Konopka. He will have a better exit from the last corner, side by side on the main straight. But the Lamborghini is very quick on the straight, so Miro Konopka did not have a chance to dive to the inside. And that means that Christian Wimberger is still ahead of the Slovakian driver. And one more time, we are going flat out, up the hill, into the turn number 3. And now it's a safe position for Christian Wimberger because Konopka was just too far away to attack. This time, look at the fight behind them, because there is Adam Konopka just behind Coach Mackenzie. Here it is. And he needs to overtake the green Lamborghini very quickly, because in a remaining 5.5 minutes, maybe he will still have a chance to fight for the victory in GT3. And there is a BMW M6 GT3, the number 24 of Gregor Shigo. He spun around, and I believe there was no contact with the barriers because the car seems fine to me. But anyway, it's a first yellow flag of the race. It's a situation at the exit from the turn number 1. So I believe, or I hope, that the driver of BMW M6 GT3 will be able to rejoin the race. He's still standing there, so he's struggling to get going again. I don't wish to have a safety car for the rest of the race, because there are still battles going on. So what happened there? It was just a mistake. Yes, it was just a driver's mistake, and quite scary situation for the Porsche driver going behind the BMW, behind the Gregor Shigo. Fortunately, the Porsche driver was able to avoid a crash, so nothing serious had happened. And we are green again, so the yellow flags were removed, which means that Gregor Shigo is going again behind the wheel of his BMW M6 GT3. Currently it's P15. It's P17 actually in the overall standings, and still P3 in a GT3 class. So not much has changed for Gregor Shigo after his mistake. 3.5 minutes to go, and you can see the leader of the race lapping down the traffic. There are GT4 cars ahead of Denis Waszek. It's the only BMW M4 GT4 driven by Rudolf Benio at the moment. There's a second place in GT4, and just ahead of him there is the leader in a GT3 class, Mark Kastelic, driving the Mercedes AMG GT4, which is now being overtaken by the race leader, that is Waszek. So it's still very good pace by the Czech driver behind the wheel of his Lamborghini, prepared by GT2 Motorsport. Meanwhile, Miro Konopka still behind Christian Wimberger, and most likely... Oh no! Wimberger is doing a mistake! I was just about to say that there is no chance for Konopka to overtake him, but out of nowhere there is a chance, and Konopka took the chance, and he is ahead. So there was a one slight mistake done by Christian Wimberger as he went off into the gravel zone, and of course Miro Konopka, he wasn't waiting at all, and he overtook the orange Lamborghini, which means the Slovakian driver Miro Konopka is on P2 overall right now. So the waiting pays off for Miro Konopka at the moment. 1 minute and 50 seconds to go. Also, Miro Konopka behind the wheel of his LMP3 prototype is lapping down the traffic. One more time we can see the M4 GT4, the only BMW GT4 in this race. It's still also a quite close battle for the GT4 victory between Mark Kastelic and Rudolf Benio. We can see the cars closely together, and maybe Rudolf Benio will have a chance to attack the leading car of a GT4 class, which is the Mercedes just ahead of him. But we have only 1 minute remaining. How is it between Antal Shigo and Adam Konopka? 1.5 seconds between the two class leaders in the GT3 category, so it's a still safe situation for Antal Shigo, the GT3 race leader. And I believe that the next lap will be the last lap for Denis Vacek and for all the other competitors on the racetrack. Only 30 seconds remaining at the moment, and Denis Vacek leads with a very good gap. 4 seconds between Denis Vacek and Miro Konopka. So Miro Konopka was the fastest driver last time around, but there is just no time for Konopka to chase down also Vacek, and what's the most important, there is no point in doing it because they are both racing in different classes. Time's up! So I believe this is the last lap of the race here on Red Bull Ring, and Denis Vacek is going for another victory in a GTC class. Miro Konopka 4 seconds behind him, Christian Wimberger on P3, Antal Shigo on P4, and Miro Konopka on P5 at the moment, just ahead of Coach Mackenzie. And also there will be no fight for the 6A plus 6B class victory because Coach Mackenzie leads the race with the gap of 11 seconds ahead of Hermann Speck, so a safe situation for Coach Mackenzie. But we need to welcome the race winner on the finish line. Denis Vacek is crossing the finish line right now, and he is the winner of the race. And of course, he's the winner of a GTC class. Then it's Miro Konopka on the P2 for ARC Bratislava, winning the race in D5 class. Then it's Christian Wimberger winning the GTX class with his 63 Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. Then it's Antal Shigo on P4 winning the GT3 class with his BMW M4 GT3 prepared by Trevor Racing. On P5 it's Adam Konopka finishing second in a GT3 class, also for ARC Bratislava with Lamborghini Huracan GT3 number 77. On P6 it's Coach Mackenzie winning the 6A plus 6B class behind the wheel of his Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo prepared by HP Racing in Anderson. On P7 it's Hermann Speck, also on P2 in a 6A plus 6B class. On P8 it's Hubert Darmetko on second place in a GTC. On P9 it's Vlad Raducanu finishing third in GTC. On P10 it's Michael Oliver winning the class 4 with his Porsche 992 Cup. On P11 it's Petr Kokola finishing second in the GTX. On P12 is Bob Pau finishing fourth in GTC. On P13 it's Libor Dvořáček finishing on P5 in the GTC class. On P14 it's Petr Brečka finishing on P6 in a GTC class. On P15 it's Radek Kolařík finishing on P7 in GTC. On P16 it's Andrea Kunica finishing on P8 in a GTC class. On P17 it's Mark Stelic winning the GT4 class with his Mercedes AMG GT4 number 19. Rudolf Benio behind him on a P2 in a GT4 on a P18 overall. And behind these two there is Tim Gabor finishing third in GTX class behind the wheel of his Lotus Exige V6 Cup. On P20 it's Gregor Shigo finishing on P3 in a GT3 class, and then on P21 it's Andrei Makarovic finishing on P3 in a GT4 class, and on P22 it's Jaka Stuflek driving Porsche Cayman GT4, finishing on P4 in a GT4 class. So that was the second sprint race of Asset Cup series here on Red Bull Ring Austria. One more time, we enjoyed plenty of action. And one more time, we need to admire the driving skills of Denis Vashek, because again, he was the untouchable driver, and he just did everything right to take his second victory of the day. And again, he was so dominant. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.